This episode is brought to you by FanRoll, your source for premium gaming dice. Get 10% off dice and dice accessories at fanrolldice.com with our code TRIALS10. They have a huge selection of metal, resin, and even a couple of other novelty dice. So go check that out and get 10% off your order with code TRIALS10. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 202 of Trials and Trebuchets. I'm your Dungeon Master, Luke, and joining me are my players, whose names are as follows.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ben.
He's here?
Wow,
oh my God.
You're still fucking here? I thought we killed you.
I'm still here, everybody.
Hi, I'm Carla, and I play the level 10.
10? No, not 10. You guys need to level up right now to level 11.
Oh my gosh,
What?
I'm so unprepared
Oh my
for
gosh,
this.
okay, let me just
Oh,
do
no.
that right now.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
all the extra. You guys all get all the extra experience that
Oh,
Winsler
that's so
doesn't get because he's dead.
Oh, cool.
So take it again, Carla. Take it again.
Okay. I'm so sorry for that mistake, everyone. Hi, again, I'm Carla. That's not a mistake. And I play the level 11 Tiefling Roguelock, level 8 Rogue, level 3 Warlock, Integrity I Idle Berry. Gnomish friend Wallaby, how I wonder where you'll be. Must be far or close in hellish stream. Wish we may, you're still alive. Don't you worry, hold on tight. We promise you that there will come a day. Wallaby will find a way.
Oh,
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I play Mira Marchand, the level 11 half-elf bard. What did we do in that elder brain fight? Met her school's leader and beat her all right. She sent our friend falling, us calling his name in our plight. He went underwater and didn't come out fine. Our wind's hollow and we're losing our mind. 'Cause Wallaby drowned in the pool. Our magic couldn't make him better. In the grip of Henrietta, our Winsler Wallaby soul is split in two. Little sliver gone to Celty. Our most best friend no longer healthy. I miss Wallaby.
oh, goodness gracious. I wish that I split his soul into 3 pieces just so you could get a better rhyme. in
Right.
there, though. Oh my god.
Hi, my name is Sam, and I play the level 11 human sorceress Sarah Cinderman. Thank you all, friends, family of the dearly departed Winsler Wallaby, for joining us for this episode.
And last time on Trials and Trebuchets, the students faced Our Lady of the Deep and her minions. Serenep Cinderman broke Professor Doss out of her mind control. Integrity Idleberry became trapped under rubble after Mira Marchand's haste upon her was broken. And Winsler Wallaby tried to stab at Henrietta Hedrick with the Blessed Spear from the Modrons, a futile attempt at heroics from the gnome. Returning to her lair with Winsler in tentacle, Bailey Blue laid in wait for the students and failed to repel them, as Integrity dove into the tank in search of orbs and Serenep raced after her friend. In moments, Winsler breathed his last, and his soul was split. 1/17 to Celty's teapot, and 16/17 off to the afterlife. Orbs and Winsler's body retrieved. The final blow was struck, killing Our Lady of the Deep and her warlock, and effectively ending the threat on campus. We are going to start in a dark classroom. We see burning incense, and we can smell kind of the wonderful lavender scent in the air. Very peaceful atmosphere. There might even be some sparkling illusory lights floating around, giving a very twilight feel to this classroom. We see a sleepy-looking professor. She doesn't look as though she has been prepared for class is almost still in pajamas, sitting upon a pillow, dozing away, half asleep. And in front of her, in a semicircle, we see a few students, missing two from her regular class. This is Dreamlike Realities, as Professor Kegner is watching over her dreaming students. Her own mind is wandering in and out of sleep as the class progresses. It's about noon or just afterwards outside, but the light barely makes it through the shuttered windows, and a rumbling crosses over this classroom. Professor Kagner, this human woman with sleepy-looking eyes, will open her eyes at this odd sensation that she's feeling. Quickly, she will look over the faces of her students. None of them seem to have been aroused from their sleep. This rumbling continues. It intensifies to a point. A crashing and cracking sound is heard from beyond the windows, and she hesitantly gets up and makes her way over to one of these shuttered windows, and peeking through the wooden slats can see only a large cloud of dust from a tower falling into rubble far from the illusion department. We see her take a very deep breath in, looking fearful for a few moments as she watches the chaos from afar. The tower crumbles, dust flies up. The most that she can see from here, as she quietly and worriedly watches, is a tentacle or two flinging out into the sky at a certain point. The flapping wings of some massive creature, barely visible through the dust far away. The rumbling, after maybe a minute, stops, and she lets out a breath that she was holding before returning back to her students. Then we're going to cut a few days later, after the dust has settled. Mira Marchand, Integrity Idleberry, Serenep Cinderman, the three of you are seated in the wonderful stone seats of the evocation department. The ones that you had sat in so recently to watch wonderful tournaments unfold, or wonderful dueling unfold at the Autumn's End tournament. You're now seated here, gathered with many other students, the faculty, a thinned out crowd compared to the last time you were gathered here. On the evocation field, the grass is yellowed after the winter's cold. There's no snow on it, but the field looks, it has that springish charm about it. There's a wooden stage assembled in the center where counselors in beautiful regalia sit upon wooden chairs. There's a few professors seated there as well, and standing at a large podium is none other than Headmaster Crow, this young black man with well done hair and just a very dour expression to him. He wears all black. In front of this wooden stage in the field, there are two large stone caskets with flowers all around their bases, both the same size. There's not bespoke ones for the smaller among us. But I need to know, Mira, Integrity, Serenep, you're in the crowd here. What are you wearing? What do you guys look like, as it is the start of a new arc? We got to describe ourselves.
Mira is definitely like dressed in all black for mourning as well. Hair still in this like double halo braid. I imagine she's wearing one of those like short sleeve shirts where it's like button up, the collar is white but the rest of it is black. A black skirt with leggings, like very simple, looking very sad. Nothing fancy today. It's not about that.
Yeah. Integrity?
Integrity is still a tiefling, an orange-colored tiefling with red and black hair. She is wearing a black jumpsuit and some tall black leather boots. She looks like she hasn't slept. She looks disheveled, like even though she tries to look well-kept, to be respectful of the deaths that has occurred here. It's hard to sort of stay motivated and well-kept considering the recent happenings. So that's integrity.
Okay. And Serenep the Cinderman.
Serenep is dressed just in a very plain black dress, plain black like dress shoes. Her hair is, she usually tries to do something. It's just kind of like falling over her forehead. I think she has like maybe like very few little jewelry, like maybe like a ring is just on her pinky or something like that, just to like just something to like mess with on her hand. There's eye bags. Her lower lip has been chewed up. Her nails have been all chewed off as well. Like she's just not 100%. Like her nose is red.
Yeah.
But she's not crying right now. She's just kind of trying to look brave faced.
Of course. Mira, sitting next to you is a blonde half-elf, Delna Serathrin. She's wearing her hair in a low bun. She has a very stereotypical witch's hat, maybe reminiscent of the one Winsler used to wear, and is just wearing very baggy, almost big robes that are baggy around her shoulders and lower body, and then a belt around her waist, and then like tapered in towards like black gloves she's wearing over her hands. And she's sitting legs crossed next to you, Mira.
I imagine like I'm not like fully holding her hand, but it's just like placed on top of hers.
Yeah, wonderful. As you all sit here, assembled maybe for about 7 minutes or so, waiting for the morning's events to proceed, the crowd, again, is thinned out. Even though the population of Wildcliff at large is fairly small, but even here it feels smaller than it ought to, as though there are less students in attendance, not as many professors as there ought to be. People are absent. You're not certain if that's them willfully missing, however. I don't think that is what you would intuit. After you're gathered here, waiting in this very dead silence, there's a chill in the air. It is just the end of the first week of spring, after all. Your breath might be visible as you exhale quietly. You see Headmaster Crow walk up to this podium and place his hands upon it. His head looks down for a moment, a very on display kind of sadness emanates from him. However authentic that is up to your discretion. But he will speak to the gathered crowd and say, "Students, faculty, staff of Wildcliff, I speak to you today of a great tragedy which had befallen us 4 days ago. There was a terrible creature which lurked beneath this school for an unknown amount of time. You may have felt its presence in your own minds or in your daily lives. That creature caused the death of 2 young men this past Wednesday. 2 students at this school. These 2 died keeping an ancient darkness away from us, a sacrifice that this school will not soon forget. They were not alone in protecting us, of course, and to our living stewards we are thankful, but we are gathered today to mourn the deaths of these 2 young men. Winsler Wallaby, 2nd year, top of his class, and Bailey Blue, a 4th year in his final year of study, both taken from us well before they ought to have been. Integrity, Mira, Seraph, you might hear whispers around you. Older students kind of saying, wasn't that the guy who won the tournament last year? And then maybe even others, Mira, that you tune into and hear, I heard that there was a fight or something at dining hall. Wasn't he involved in that debate that was happening? Quiet whispers, not plentiful. Most people are in a very respectful silence, but you do hear whispers nonetheless. Crow will continue. The legacy that these young men are leaving behind will exist around us forever. The campus's safety itself, the ability for you students to continue your daily lives free from any harm which would seek you out. Even the golems which preside over our paths and simple problems at campus are a remnant of Mr. Wallaby's own mind, a legacy left behind by them, a token of their impact upon this world. They'll be returned to their families tomorrow morning. But until then, if you wish to pay your respects to them, their caskets will remain here in the field, watched over. But if you would like to say a quiet thank you, whatever you would like to pay respects to them. He'll pause for some time, give it a lot of air to let everyone ruminate on this. You hear some sniffling coming from counselors as they just, not crying, just wiping their nose, kind of very neutral about this entire thing, looking quite administrative. You see Mira Marchand, you can see Alla Algrim seated there in her golden regalia, even upon her head a large golden hat, which has metal on the edges, some wide-brimmed sort of thing. She has a very stern expression on her old elven face. There is remorse or sadness there, but the kind of distant one that you would expect from someone who doesn't really know someone. The other expressions on the council, you can see a rusty brown, large dragonborn Yithriax Light Sun. He's dressed in gray robes. On his skin, or on his scales, you see burnt-in emblems of the suns and such things. He does look truly filled with sorrow, a man who stuck up for you guys at the end of last year and thought very highly of everyone, including Winsler. He looks truly filled with sadness on this day. You can see him almost mouthing something to himself silently, maybe a prayer or something to his god. After probably a minute of silence as the crowd ruminates, Crow will continue and say, though it is a painful time to bring up the minutiae of daily life, it is necessary for me to tell you all, our students in particular, of one final outcome of all of this. You may have seen posters or heard from friends that the event planning committee was to hold an election today for its new president. With the death of Mr. Bailey Blue, the former president of this committee, we, the administration, have opted to shut this organization down, both to honor Mr. Blue as the final president of this committee, as well as to just remove any opportunity to wander off the path of study that might present itself to students. Our campus administrator, Mr. Kenneth Horsewrangler, will take over the duties of this committee effective immediately, and there will be a small suggestion box outside of the dining hall should you wish to submit a request for some sort of event or club meeting. I once again apologize to bring this up now, today of all times, but this is to honor Mr. Blue, as well as to uphold legacy. Thank you, everyone, for gathering here. You will no doubt notice the absence of a few classmates of yours who are recovering or have returned home for some time to process the events of the past week. It's my duty to inform you that there will be no classes for the next week as we mourn the deaths of these two students. And on behalf of Wildcliff, I am here to say that these two men will live in our memories for all time as heroes. Thank you, everyone. And Mr. Crow, Headmaster Crow, will leave this podium. He will turn to his fellow administrators and will walk down the line and kind of like put a hand on some shoulders, shake others' hands. And with that, the administration will rise and begin to leave, as well as some students, as this assembly concludes. What do the three of you want to do in this moment?
Integrity is going to get up and she's going to look at her remaining friends, Mira and Sereneth, and I'm sort of going to do this head wave to sort of point towards the coffins just to pay our respects and go up to them and...
Sure. You can lead your two friends, Integrity, down the stairs from the stands above the evocation department and slowly enter onto the field and make your way over to these large caskets. They are probably raised up on stone bases so that they are roughly 4 feet tall. Blue and red flowers are decorated around the bases of both of them. The left one has an etching on it that reads Bailey Blue in a very beautiful carving, and the right one has a similar Winsler wallaby upon it.
I assume that these are closed caskets.
Absolutely, yes. Almost magically sealed. Integrity, you walk up to it, they look almost as if they were conjured around the bodies, not a seam in sight, it seems.
I'm going to go up to Winsler first.
Mm-hmm.
You are one of my absolute best friends. We've gone through so much together, and I am so sorry that there was nothing I could do to save you. We're going to miss you so much.
Mira.
I'm also going to go over to the casket where Winsler is, and I'm going to bow my head down, and I'm going to say, Winsler, you were like one of the, if not the best person that I know. It's really hard to, the way that everything was better, just any conversation, anything, just by having you around, and I miss you so much, and I'm so sorry, and I hope that, I don't know where you are right now, but I hope it's somewhere peaceful and okay. And I'm also going to just cast a quick gaze over to Bailey's, and I'm going to add, and Bailey, you really didn't deserve what happened to you, and I'm so sorry.
Serenepth.
I think the last couple of days, Serenepth's been really, really quiet, kind of hunkered down. When she goes over, she just still twisting the ring on her finger. She's going to just calmly, as calm as she can, say, I don't quite know what I'm supposed to say. You were so nice, and you did so much to just bring people together. I'm so sorry that I'm going to get stronger. Wherever you are, I hope you're happy, and I promise I'm going to protect them better. And she kind of glances over to Integrity and Mira before she kind of pats the top of the casket and walks away.
Yeah. Integrity, was there something you wanted to say to Bailey?
Yes. So this time I'm going to walk up to his coffin, and I'm going to crouch down actually and sort of try to think of where his ear might be, because this is sort of like a hush-hush.
Yeah.
I know that I said that I would save you, that we would save you, and I failed badly at that. I know that you were not a bad person. People, when they're desperate, tend to fall and try to gain as much power as they can, even when it's from a really bad source. So you are the last warlock that will die on my watch.
So, Integrity, you can stand back up, and the three of you are standing here. You look over to the kind of entryway onto the field. Delnis stayed there, giving you guys privacy. If you would like, you can return to her, or if there is something else you all would like to do and say goodbye to Delnis for the day, let me know. Ball's in your court.
I can't think of anything immediately pressing on this day that would need to be done.
Okay.
I think it's just a very somber moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a moment for acting. It's just a moment for remembering.
Okay. So the three of you walk back over into the breezeway. There's an assorted number of students gathered around here. Faces that you recognize, faces that you don't. You do not see in this moment, though he was here maybe 2 minutes ago when the assembly was occurring, you do not see Kurt or Lane currently present.
Mm-hmm.
Seems as though he left very quickly after Crow finished. You do see standing in this breezeway, their head just pointed towards those two caskets on the field, wearing a cloak of just a student's cloak, the only clothes they really own. This blue cloak on their brassy frame. Yogg is standing there very quietly, just looking over towards the two caskets.
Oof. Hey, Yogg.
Their head still points towards the caskets, and they will say, "Good morning. Is there anything that you need from me right now?
No, I was just checking on you. How are you doing?
I'm very uncertain. I am not sure how I'm supposed to feel right now. I had some understanding that I would outlive my creators. I did not expect that to happen so soon.
He really cared about you, Yogg.
Mira, you say that to them, and they will. The head lowers, and they will say, "Thank you very much. I think that I will stay and watch over him until they send it away."
I think that he will enjoy that very much. He was so proud of you.
You can say that integrity and put like a hand out onto their shoulder, a comforting gesture, and you can leave them here as they stand and watch from afar over those two caskets. The four of you, Mira, Integrity, Sereneth, and Delnus, if you'll have her. Is there any particular place you'd like to go to?
If there's no other ideas, I think Sereneth invites everyone to her room to have some tea.
Okay, absolutely. So you can all make your way quietly to Sereneth's large dorm room. She can brew the four of you some tea, and you can sit on the Sunday morning and sit well into the afternoon if you would like to do so at her table in her dining room. Maybe in silence, maybe speaking. Is there anything that you do want to say to one another?
It didn't really feel real until the speech, you know? Like, hearing somebody else give that felt so final.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just kind of expected, like, maybe yesterday morning when people were going for... I just kind of expected to go in the dining hall and see him sitting there already, but he wasn't there.
Yeah.
I mean, this entire time I was just thinking, oh, he's back in the farm, so of course we won't see him there. But I totally agree with you that having someone else say that he's gone and seeing the casket, it just made it real.
Yeah. I have some notes from that demonology class we were taking, and I never look back at my notes, but I kept thinking I can't throw them out because Winsler's gonna need them. What if he's gonna study? What if he wants... And I know, but I still feel like he needs them.
Sereneth just kind of rests her hand on... She's kept the book just kind of sitting on the table, ready for someone to pick it up. She's just kind of resting her hand on it. Yeah. She's like, yeah, it's just... Because he needs this stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we had like so many things planned out. We were going to do a lot of things together and like a bunch of research and a bunch of like experiments, and frankly at this point I don't care about the results of those, but just not getting to hang out with him.
Yeah. You know what I always liked?
What?
I liked when he would say y'all. And then his eyes would light up because he was so excited to have friends.
You're making it sound like he didn't have any other friends beside us. Like, come on, he was a really likable person.
He was so fucking likable.
Remember that time when we were trying to open a door and then he had rinds on his pocket?
Pork rinds?
Yeah.
And we were setting the grease on fire. Oh, do you remember the first time Integrity when we saw Wiggles and I couldn't believe there was a cat at school, and how did Wiggles even fit in his little pocket? I thought because he's so small, and he was just petting his fur, and it was, oh.
You know, like, he may be small, but he's out there ready for a fight. Every single time that we go to a dangerous situation and he felt like we needed more hands, he just animated everything. He animated croissants. He animated like the paddle that he got.
Oh, not the paddle.
It was like he wanted everything in the world to be his friend.
friggin' lemonade stand. There were so many times watching you work a stand. That was the most fun I'd ever just seen in that play. Like, just the line of people.
I honestly don't know how he kept up with my shit. You know, like, I feel like I would have an idea that is so stupid and so dumb. And then Winsler's like, yes, let's do that. I have the tool just for that. And I want him back.
Yeah, me too.
Do you think that there's a way to get him back?
I don't know. I really don't know.
It'd probably be something really crazy and stupid. It'll come back and bite us on the butt, and then...
But I mean, if anything, he would be the most worth it to try and get back. What if... You know how Ferdinand got out of the afterlife?
Yeah.
Do you think Winsler can do that?
If anyone can do it, Winsler can. It's Winsler. He's so fucking smart. And so fucking tenacious.
Can we get him back?
You all wait. The silence probably lasts 5 minutes until Integrity breaks it once again and asks that question.
I mean, you guys got out of when the mirror hell thing, we got separated in Nebulosis.
I don't even know where he is the thing, you know? I mean, there's spells that can let you travel to other planes, but I don't know if...
And I mean, he is missing a part of his soul.
Yeah.
Could you bring someone back with only part of their soul?
I don't know. I don't know if it would even be fully them, you know? What if there were parts missing?
I mean, do you guys know anyone who could know how the afterlife and all that works?
I mean, anyone off the top of my head right now are people who, got in trouble for bringing his students back.
Do you guys know where Professor Alaro could be?
I know she was fired. And I know that she said we shouldn't be bringing people back.
Delta's quietly will nod along with that, Mira.
I mean, we could just ask questions but never tell her what we're doing.
I mean, the last time we tried to do something like that, it didn't really go very well. I mean, we still got artists back, but I mean...
She still helped you when push came to shove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is there always a cost? Can't people just stay?
I don't think that's how the world's supposed to work.
I know.
We could probably go to Salty.
I mean, she was very adamant about getting something from myself and Mira.
Yeah. Maybe she would know where the rest of him went.
Maybe, but again,
I don't know.
I don't know if she would give...
Of course, she's just not gonna give Winsler away, but she's always been someone who can, with the right price, will do something.
Can you imagine what she would want to get back a part of a soul? She got part of a soul for a scale that I don't even know where that is anymore.
You could just take it from her.
Yeah, and we might at least be able to figure out where the rest is.
We would have to be so careful about this. Is Celti.
Again, I think that if we try to see her and try to meet her, we need to have something that is valuable in exchange for a part of Winsler to either get him or find the missing part of him.
I mean, we don't have classes for the next week. We know where she generally likes to hang out in Isithil.
Is that what we're doing? Find Celti? Find Winsler?
That's I've never felt more strongly. We can't... I know that death typically is a finality of things. They say that we shouldn't do anything about it. Just let people die. But I know the part that I've played in all of this, and it just doesn't sit right with me to let that happen.
I know what you mean.
1/4 of us is missing. I don't feel complete.
No. Guess I feel it is. But tonight, can we just remember Winsler? Tomorrow we can plan and make it happen.
Yes, I need rest. I know that this is a crazy thing to think about, but the past 4 days, I've lost sleep just thinking about it.
Okay.
And with that, an agreement to spend today mourning and remembering your friend, and then move on with a plan tomorrow. The 4 of you can remain in Serenep's dorm for as long as you would like. And when the late hours of night start to creep by, if you would want to, you can leave, return to your own dormitories, and struggle with getting some sleep there. Serenep, when your friends leave, the silence of your large room is... It's not as if you were all talking the entire time, but the loneliness now is something I think you'd rather not be with. Like a feeling thick in the air. And you can clean up your glasses and the teapot before heading to bed, lying there for hours before you actually drift away. Mira, you can head home, part ways with Delnus. When you return to your dorm room, it's quiet. Your roommate Alina is already asleep. You can hear her snoring. The body of Angelica Lindman leaned against a wall here in your room, looking altogether like a corpse. A small gray blanket draped over her. You can sit on the edge of your bed for a long while, thinking things through, letting all the silt of your thoughts land, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And Integrity, you can head back to your dorm and quietly slip in, take your shoes off, and lay down in bed. You feel your mind racing with thoughts of warlocks, of saving Bailey, like the vision, the memories come racing back to the forefront of your mind. All the times the birds said BB, BB, BB to you, the writing his name there on the list of warlocks, the way that how helpless you felt about it all. Seeing Winsler's body just dropped into, or being held aloft by Our Lady of the Deep. And with some trouble, the 3 of you can get some sleep. And that's where we'll end this episode. Ben, could you please give us an outro?
Sure. Thank you all for listening to this emotional episode of Trials and Trebuchets. If you enjoyed it, please leave a rating and review on our Apple Podcast page or your podcaster of choice. We don't do any advertising for the show, so the best way that it can be shared around is through listeners like you and sharing it with friends and family and all sorts of people that you talk with. We also have social media pages for Twitter and Instagram. Our ad is at Trials and Trebs. You can check out lots of cool stuff there, like such as upcoming teasers for episodes, fan art. If you make fan art, please tag us. We love to see it. It makes our day.
Please.
It's incredible to see it, and you know, we love artists.
We do.
We also have a link to our Discord server down below. You can join up and speak with lots of fellow fans of the show. You get a lot of extra cool tidbits you normally wouldn't, so it's definitely worth thinking about checking out if you're into chatting with fellow podcast listeners.
Also, just a place to grieve unalone.
True.
That's important.
Very true. For those listeners who are feeling a little extra generous, we also have a Patreon page. We've got multiple different tiers that you can become a patron to, and that can give you lots of different goodies such as blooper reels, DM notes, maps. Yeah. Might even have a chance to get a student NPC show up on the show.
You could.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a high possibility. And last but not least, we have the capital M merch.
Merch?
Trebmerch.com, everybody.
Yeah.
Get that seared into your brainwaves right now.
Go get
Trebmerch.com.
sticker. Go get a Winsler sticker.
Yeah,
Go get a Winsler sticker. Go get a cool Nesca t-shirt. Go
Yeah.
get a whole bunch of cute paraphernalia of your choosing. It helps support us.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for listening this week. I miss Winsler very dearly, and I'm sure all of you listening do. And we'll see you next week to see what happens next. Until then, goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.